Hello first grade students and parents, this is Miss Martin and I'm here to help explain your ESL menu for the week. So I'm going to cover the different levels and also the different categories of speaking, reading, listening, and writing. So first, we have levels 1 to 2. And in levels 1 to 2, for our listening section, you should have your child listen to their favorite TV show. Then, your student needs to decide what was the best part. Who are the main characters of the TV show? After you finish that, you can move on to the reading section. For reading, you should sing the ABC song. After singing it, can you sing it to a family member? Then, can you all sing it together? After you've sung it all together and to a family member, you can move on and try to sing it using the letter sounds. For example, the letter A makes A, so you should sing it using the different sounds. Once you've finished reading, you can move on to speaking. For speaking and writing, we have a word bank. The word bank says the words that are important are clean, dishes, work, broom, wash, chore, and clothes. You also have sentence frames. For the sentence frames, you can start your sentences with at home I, or I like to, or I don't like to. So for speaking, the first thing that you're going to do is play the game, What is this?, with a friend or family member. You should find objects in your home or in a book and ask, what is this? For example, you could point to a lamp. Then you should ask someone, what is this? That person should tell you, it is a lamp. If you know anything about a lamp, you can even use words to describe it and tell what a lamp does. For example, that's a lamp. It gives light in the house. Then you should take turns of asking and answering the questions. To move on to writing, you should write about the work that you do at home, like taking out the trash, making your bed, or feeding a pet. You should write about the chore and draw a picture next to it. For example, you could say, at home, I make my bed. I like to make my bed. Or you could use the sentence frame and say, I don't like to make my bed. Don't forget to draw your picture. For levels 2 to 3, for listening, it says you should stop, look, and listen. You should stop by a window in your house. You should listen to the different sounds you hear. For example, maybe your house is close to a road and you can hear the different cars going by. Or maybe it's raining that day and you can hear the rain. How many sounds did you hear? What was the loudest sound? After you've finished the listening section, you can move on to reading. You should read the passage listed in the menu and identify the rhyming words. For example, it says, the sun is shining very bright. Way up high, do you see the kite? Twisting, turning up so high, blowing through the summer sky. So you need to pick out which words rhyme. Then, for speaking for levels 2 to 3, and for writing for levels 2 to 3, you have a word bank and sentence frames. The word banks includes the words because, heat, warm, sunlight, heats, sets, and rises. The sentence frames say, the sun gives, I know the sun. So for speaking, you should talk about the picture. What do you see in the picture that's listed in the menu? What is the weather like? Where is the sun? What is the season? So you might want to say that you see sunlight, the weather looks warm, the weather looks sunny, the sun gives sunlight. Those are some examples. So you should talk with someone and speak about this picture. You can use the sentence frames to help you. For writing, you should look at the book listed. It's called, What Does Sunlight Do? Write 5 things that you do when it is sunny outside. For example, when it's sunny outside, I like to go on a run. For levels 3 through 4, For listening, you should listen to a TV commercial or ad on the internet. You should decide what they are selling, and then you should tell a family or a friend about the commercial. After you finish the listening part, you can move on to reading, and it says, read animals from your learning packet. So you're going to need to go over to your learning packet and find where that passage is. Then you should decide what animal was your favorite. You need to find words in the story that describe your favorite animal. After you finish that, you can move on to speaking and writing. You also have a word bank for speaking and writing. The word bank has words including more, add, put together, gave, and in all. Your sentence frames are, if you have, there were 5, if you take away, I have, and my friend has. So for speaking, you're going to play Guess What I Have. You need to find an object and hide it in your hand or a bag. So for example, you could take an eraser. You should tell your friend or family about the object, and you should see if they can guess what you are hiding. So if you're hiding an eraser, you might say something to a family or friend like, I use this with my pencil. I use this when I make a mistake. And then they would need to guess that it's an eraser. After you finish that, for writing, it says you should write a word problem to explain the number sentence above. So the word problem in the number sentence says 5 plus 3 equals 8. So you need to use words to write that. You could say, if you have 5 and add 3, you should finish the rest. It doesn't have to be that way. You could also use different sentence frames to help you start that. For example, one of your sentence frames says, there were 5. And then you added 3. So you need to figure out the words to write that number sentence and make it into a word problem. It gave you an example with the picture. There are also some extended technology resources listed for listening and reading. So you can click on those YouTube links and they will take you to different games to play. For example, you can go to the site and play the game Guess the Sound. Or you can listen to the video about mammals, and then you should tell your family and friends the 3 facts that you learned. The extended technology resources are just extra if you would like to do more, but you don't feel like you need to do more if you don't want to. They're just extra to give you some additional help and to give you something extra to do in case you're bored and you're looking for something to do. So remember, you are supposed to pick 2 of the boxes to complete for your level. So if you're level 1 to 2, you could pick either listening and speaking, listening and writing, reading and speaking, reading and writing. You get to decide which ones interest you. Keep working hard.